Hello and welcome to sweeping technology changes happening in the world of banking. The question is, will banks use technology and become bigger and better, or will they get consumed by it? Will someone else come and eat their lunch? Well, that's the question I'm posing to Aditya Puri, Managing Director of HDFC Bank. Mr. Puri, thank you very much for joining us today. So, first question, your bank is very active in touching millennials or people who are technologically aligned and inclined with mobile banking. You've got even a robot in one of your branches, and yet you don't use a mobile.
You know, you're sounding like my daughter. I have to give you a solid education.
Right.
How is mobile linked to being good at understanding technology and what it can do?
Because everything is mobile. I mean, if you're
Mobile is the user.
Yes.
It's an access device.
Yeah.
I'm the mind behind providing you the service.
Okay. Some people would like to hope that you perhaps are the most adept at mobile phones, and therefore you would provide better services at mobile banking.
No. So I'll tell you, you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you're asking these questions. I have 45 people checking who are much better than me. Every product we launch for what is called UI frictionless, right? User interface without friction, to see how we can come down to, because that's what's going to be ultimately convenient. That check, what we've introduced, for instance, don't let him come to the website, and we're in the process of bringing this in. Don't let him come to the website and make him hunt around all over. Be like Netflix. I want to see a Western movie. I want a loan. You write loan, and I'll tell you everything that you want. So I find it a great benefit that I don't utilize all this, because I am demanding only from the customer end. This is what my customer wants. You give it. They start with unreasonable, we compromise halfway through. No, boss, you don't understand.
But Netflix is a great example, because that's what many companies are saying. The users are experiencing Uber, Netflix, and they want the same experience when they come to banks.
We will give it.
Yeah. And how are you going to
see, what has happened is that you have to move into a platform that is an API platform, which is really interactive, and you can continue to change, because the old days of having hardwired systems and big software, etc., and by the time you create a new product and change the system, you're 12 to 14 months down talking to all these big shots, by which time that product is not required only. So you need so the moment you move into APIs, you can very quickly meet that need. The second is you actually got to hire design consultants to make sure that the design is a marketing design. The third is when he actually uses it, he must get the same experience.
As an Uber, Netflix, or
absolutely. So I want one click. For instance, now, if you've been banking with me,
yes, I know it is.
You can get a loan in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, we are just introducing, if you have your demat account with me, you don't even have to talk to me to get a loan. You access our app. He'll tell you the security is eligible. He'll tell you the margin. He'll tell you the amount of loan available. You just have to enter the amount. You press, there's a digital, you get an OTP. With that OTP, you put it in, and that's the end. Account is credited. So you go to a consumer durable today, while you're standing there, even if you're not my customer, I'll give you a loan, because we've used artificial intelligence to create appropriate credit models. So I hope I'm making sense that the phone is not the only thing.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you another question. Yeah. So a lot of the conveniences are being brought in by the intermediaries, the fintech players, who perhaps have developed the smartness or the smart interfaces to actually work with consumers. And I know that you've also written about it, you've argued about this in the past, saying that why should we allow them to have our lunch?
Absolutely.
And what do we as banks do? So
we've stopped it now. See, the point is, let's go one by one. If you have to use a wallet, unless you have circumstances which are unbelievable, that is, you pay a 500 bill, you get a 300 cashback. Why would you not use a bank wallet? Why would you transfer money from me to another intermediary and then see whether it can be paid? When I will tell you, here is your bill, it is not paid or it is paid, and I can give confirmation, and my wallet is also a card on file. So it can also give you a credit at the same point of time. So it's more convenient, and so when we talk to our customers, they say only till he gives us the cashback, we'll go there. That's a 1,600 crore loss for some of these guys. So when I say I have got nothing against them, I'm just saying a wallet or a simple payment device, because there's not that much margin, is not something that you can turn into a profitable business. Right. Similarly, if you take the e-commerce sites, and we have a portal, our own Smart Buy on our site, which we took from Discover, is that fundamentally you can shop there. Again, one click, you don't have to put in your card details. So when you say these fellows, and if I can give a loan in 10 seconds, There is nobody out there, loan.com or phone.com, who can give a loan in 10 seconds. Even in the long run, he has a problem, because when I have enough of my own customers, I am not going to lend to him. So where will he get the funding from?
Right.
So all I am saying is, have they created something where we slow to react in the beginning? I have to admit, yes. Now that we've understood what APIs can do, what you can do through user interface, what chatbox can do, how you can have analytics, how you can provide a better service to your customer, how you can re-engineer. Like Apple was not the best of phones. Even now, if you see it on a feature basis, yeah, the Android will probably come out ahead. Am I making a correct statement?
I mean, some people argue that, yes.
Okay, close to that.
Yes.
But he focused on the customer. He delivers what you want. That's the key. It's not, technology is not the key.
Right.
The key for the success of Amazon, Netflix, Google, Facebook is they delivered what the customer wants.
Right. But would the fintech companies have obviously outspent you in marketing. I mean, is that something, and is that something that you see as a threat in the medium to long term?
No, not at all. Let me ask you, counter question. Do you think they have a better brand than us or more brand recognition?
In shorter time periods, yes. I mean,
but related to what product? Brand means?
Yeah, different products, yes.
So what I'm saying is,
the trust is with you, but convenience may be somewhere else.
No,
That
but
may
now
be the
if I
brand.
have convenience as well?
Yeah. No, I'm saying, so that's the
So
the
what
challenge,
he's
right?
had, there are two parts to it. He's had to spend, he will have to spend on brand building, and he'll have to spend on consumer acquisition, and then he has to have a viable model. To acquire my level of customers who are actually dealing, and the customers that will make money and not just the recharge customer, will cost you billions of dollars. On top of that, then you add the fact that I give him a broad spectrum whereby you think of anything. You want a loan, you want to transfer money, mutual fund, insurance, you want to pay your electricity bill, house tax, you want a virtual relationship manager, you want to buy shares. You come to me. Huh? Why would you, in a digital world, when people don't want to move out of a particular interaction, I'm actually seeing that you don't have to move out of my mobile banking side at all. I'll offer you all within that. Why would you want to come, take a loan from me, then go and pay through another fellow when you can do the same thing with me, or buy insurance, or go out and, whereas I am registered both as PayZapp and as a credit card user, and we are the largest in terms of payment gateway, why would you want to move out of my interaction? Read the latest Harvard Business Review. Actually, it covers a lot of what you're asking me, where if an existing dominant player can provide the same service, then people return to trust. And that's what happened with, in US with Tide and Surf. Tide was faster to react, and they hit the market share. We're faster to react, and today I can say with confidence there is no fintech fellow out there that can offer any service other than cashback faster or better than we can.
So how are you doing this internally? I mean, are you? You've not acquired anything. So are you building these capabilities within? Are you bringing them from outside?
See, most of the
you talked about artificial
yeah.
intelligence.
See, most of this, if I try and bring it within, I think it will be. I would have missed wood for the trees. So whether PayZapp, which is my wallet, it's not mine. I brand it, but everything else is done by a fintech company. Or Chiller, which is our P2P, I don't do it. Or the chat box that we are doing to have conversational, I haven't done it. And what I want is, I want to launch to the customer that I'm the face. You open it, you think HDFC Bank. I'll be damned if I'm going to become an expert on everything, because I can't, and it'll take too long. So we are looking, and that's why I'm moving to an API infrastructure where we will white label and present to our customer everything that he wants.
Most fintech companies want to do it the other way. I mean, the ones I've seen at least, the bank at the back is actually hidden, whereas their product or services, and that brand is really in the front.
Because they don't have a bank.
None of the big banks at least.
Yeah. So that's it. So when they start and how they move, so it's natural for them wanting to do it that way. But the difference is that then you're promoting one product. I'm promoting convenience. You want anything. Like when I said you can design your own loan against shares. You have a demat saving with me. Now you want to go out and get it. Why would you do that? One click. So my main thing is, when I say frictionless user interface, I'm talking about one, maximum 2 clicks. No moving out of an interaction, even if you want to move from one product to the other product. And no buffering. You need to get quick response, and the best price.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you the mandatory demonetization question. So, more than 2 months have passed, and I mean, after it's sort of settled down, what are the 3 or 4 takeaways in terms of how it's helped the system as a whole, if it has, in your mind, and you as a bank?
See, I think it has helped both the system, us as a bank, and individuals. So let me start one. A lot of money that was lying idle and consequently was not going into creating investment for the country. Savings were not moving into productive purposes, were under the mattresses, come into the banking system. This has resulted in a downward pressure in the interest rates, reflected in probably the largest drop in interest rates and a further declining environment depending upon how much of that money remains in the system. Second is that I do believe that the tax net, the number of people paying tax in this country will double over a 6 to 8 month period, which is also money available for development.
But that's a very optimistic assessment.
But I'm optimistic, yeah, double nahi hoega, to 50% ho jayega. Either way, I hope it's double.
Yeah.
So that's the second part. The third is the transparency that it introduces. Now, if the government says all receipts and payments, and if they could back it up also, that all applications have to be digital. I have an audit trail and I have a payment trail, all of which can be audited for both rent seeking or not providing the regular service. So there is tremendous openness. The fourth is it allows me to go into the interiors of the country by being able to offer products. Now, for instance, I now want to do loans which are 10,000, 12,000. Why can I do it? I can do it because of UPI. I can do it because everyone has a mobile. We brought UPI. In fact, we asked for it and it was done, that UPI should be available on a feature phone. I can completely change my business model. So I think this is a lot. And then finally, cash is a very expensive commodity to handle for the Reserve Bank, the country, because all notes need to be replaced.
The small and medium enterprise or the kirana wala.
For everybody, for everybody, Govind, you see, the fellow has to print it. He's got a life of 1.5 years. You got to reprint. That's a humongous cost. Then they have to store it. I have to store it. The kirana wala have to store it. You have to store it. Then it has to be moved around. Then there are security risks, and it creates corruption in itself. So the amount of people that have moved to digital, and I can give you any number of examples if you want, where the least likely have actually embraced it with both hands.
Okay, and I think you also said that basically the unorganized sector shifts or caused a shift of the unorganized sector to the organized sector, which in turn has to come to the banking sector.
Absolutely, both for loans and transparency and tax.
But is it coming willingly, or is there some?
No, it's coming willingly. See, what has happened is that when he figures that it is not such a bad thing, it's much more convenient for him to pay sitting on his desktop than take a scooter rickshaw with all the roads dug up. It takes you 45 minutes to go anywhere. Come back, what's my balance? Can I open a letter of credit? Can I transfer money? Has he received it? You can sit there and you tell him, and when our little guys and girls are going out and talking to the people, they're calling them Jadu ki Kudi and stuff like that. So I think it's phenomenal going forward. It will also, it may not eliminate corruption, but I'm very confident it will reduce it.
Okay, so last sort of set of questions. What's your outlook if you were to look ahead? You've talked about the whole technology piece and HDFC Bank. It's clearly becoming more and more ubiquitous. You seem to be driving it strategically. You're working with partners. You're integrating them. You're white labeling. So the consumer sees one integrated product, and there's far more integration between services and verticals within the bank. So what's the outlook, and how is all this going to build further?
See, two things will happen. One is I do think that the economy will grow faster next year. That's one part of it. Two is, if you handle it right, then the bank that is able to create the trust and your habit is going to be the concentration account. You'll have to keep balances. If you're going to pay your credit card bill through me, you're going to pay your petrol through me, and by the way, you can get the best hotel accommodation, cheapest from us. Yeah, you want to travel, you want to do all of that. I want to become his concentration account as far as the sophisticated people in urban India are concerned. Literally, I say, think money, think HDFC Bank, and there's nothing we can't do for you at the best price and with an access device suitable to you and with the trust that we have. Okay, so then you go further, that the markets in semi-urban and rural India are opening up phenomenally, and a lot of the people who previously would borrow from money lenders will now come into organized finance, which will make them more competitive, which gives me a larger canvas to deal in. Also, I'm very convinced that the recovery after the demonetization has been much quicker than most people expected. And then a lot of people are seeing a gain. Then if the government comes on to everything, payment, receipt and payment coming through again, that again leads to a lot of transparency and efficiency. And if they
G2C is bigger than C2C actually.
it should be,
yeah.
it has to be,
C2G, yeah.
he has to mandate it, no?
Yeah.
Once that is done, I do believe that the incremental tax as well as the tax penalties hopefully can reduce the disparities of wealth in this country and bring more affluence to semi-urban and rural India, which can create employment, whether it's the warehouses, whether it's tourism, whether it's food processing, whether it's logistics. So I, for one, am quite positive, and I do believe that this linked with the desire that most people, and I hope most people turn positive, that India does have a bright future in the world configuration, leaves me very optimistic here.
Okay. So, last question. So, we've talked about HDFC in the domestic context, and you're obviously largely a domestic bank. But if you were to look at some of the forces that are playing out worldwide, the Trump factor, the Brexit factor, maybe the Philippines factor, how do you see all of this affecting or not affecting, and particularly maybe companies you lend to, businesses you work with?
See, you know, you can look at it positively, you can look at it. We were actually out of all the trade pacts that were done by the rest of the world. So, I'm very happy they're broken. That's number one. You look at it geopolitically, I don't think US and China are going to get together or get along. Nor will China, if it keeps dominating, have difficulty. So, if we can actually introduce ease of doing business and bring efficiency through infrastructure, we have a tremendous capability of exporting and dealing on a bilateral basis. And even Trump needs some friends. And we didn't have that much exports going out, but we are in a position to do that. There will be the collateral benefit, this visa, this, that. Then you develop in India, no? You start moving into, everybody I heard NASSCOM saying, oh, our traditional business is going down. Then move very quickly and get into the digital arena, and you should be the best. So I think the world will be less globalized. I think there will be more protectionism. I think there would be a lot of emphasis on trying to get the underprivileged, which have lost out because of the neoliberal, democratic, globalized system, as you may. You know, you said a steel worker should, he'll get an alternate job. A 50-year-old fellow who's used to going and having a couple of beers, couple of drinks, telling his wife to make his food, now you want him to become a hospital nurse or you want to become a software engineer. It's not. We should very definitely look in India. There will be job displacement with robotics and artificial intelligence. There is enough new areas that we should replace them with minimum of skill. So I think, you know, like good old Dickens, it's the best of times, it's the worst. We look at the best.